Tyrese Haliburton came into the game today with most overrated player in the league allegations that came out of some bullshit poll the NBA put out. He came into this game with Damian Lillard talking shit to him the game prior. And what did he do? He delivered the Indiana Pacers a win, and it's another very nice collective performance from Indiana as they go up 2-0 in spite of Damian Lillard's return to action. What did you take away from this performance by the Pacers?
Why are they hating on our boy like that, man? I don't get it,
Everybody hates
dude.
whimsy. Everybody hates merriment.
Like,
Everybody hates selfless team basketball. God forbid a guy
yeah,
prefer
dude,
to
God
create an
for
opportunity for somebody
bro,
else.
on God. I don't get how you can hate Tyrese Haliburton anymore, man. I love how he plays basketball. Like, I don't know, man. That's so baffling to me. Like, so NBA players don't appreciate Tyrese Haliburton either? Come on, man.
Well, it's only whatever, like a small percentage of them because you can vote for anybody in the league. He just got the highest percentage of the vote. It's still probably like 10% or something. So yeah, you got 10% of NBA players who unfortunately don't know ball. It's sad.
It is sad. I mean, I was gonna say like I feel bad for him. The guy I do feel bad for is the guy that you mentioned in a tweet. I feel bad for Giannis, bro. I don't think the Bucks have the horses in this race, man. I just really don't. I don't think they've got the dogs. I don't think they've got what they need to beat Indiana in this series. Like there is such a large creation and skill gap from these two teams. It is staggering. If it's Tyrese Haliburton every possession, if it's Andrew Nemhard who made huge shot after huge shot in the fourth quarter, if it's TJ McConnell who on any given night can come in and give you the spark you need off the bench, there is just such a massive skill and shooting gap between both of these teams. And credit to Milwaukee for coming back in the fourth quarter. That was awesome. They go on a 13-0 run to cut a 15-point lead to a 2-point lead at the end. Bobby Portis had an awesome game, was balling in the fourth quarter. But I just don't know what can go in their favor and what can really change enough to I don't even get them a win. That's at the point I'm at with in Milwaukee. I hope they can get a game. I'm not even at like a series thing with them. They need more from Damian Lillard. They certainly need more from
Mhm.
Kyle Kuzma. I think especially, look, man, I don't want to close the book on him just 2 games into his playoff career with Milwaukee. I think they have to have buyer's remorse with Kuzma and wish they had held on to Middleton. Like, just what Middleton can give you in the playoffs as a playmaker, as a high IQ basketball player, because frankly, I don't think there's anything the Bucks can do in this series against Indiana to make them uncomfortable on offense. They just don't have the defensive personnel. And so you think about the trade with Kuzma, that was the idea. And sure, Kuzma might get you a few extra boards a game. I would much rather have the offensive player that I believe in more because they still have the biggest defensive liability on the court in Brook Lopez. And as long as you're playing Brook Lopez in this series, you're cooked. The Pacers offense is going to eat. And so now what the Bucks are forced to do is play lineups to maximize their skills. So I think they need to run a ton of lineups with Portis, a ton of lineups with Kevin Porter Jr., with Gary Trent Jr., obviously with Dame and like with AJ Green. They're just playing from a deficit, man. And that's where I'm at in this series. I don't know if the Bucks are going to steal a game, even with as dominant as Giannis is and has been and is going to be. I don't know how they stop the Pacers. Do you just
Mhm.
stop playing Brook Lopez? Do we abandon that completely? Do we just go Giannis and
Yes.
Bobby as our front court? Like, that's what's so damning. Brook Lopez is one of their 5 best players, and he's like completely unplayable in this series. And I just think the Bucks are cooked, man. And it's not even, dude. You know what? I wish on my hater shit, I wish this could be like some Doc Rivers shit, but it's not. It's Bucks don't the Bucks don't have the dogs. They just don't have the dogs in this race.
I will say, old Doc is definitely not doing them any favors. Like
I
he
mean, but
comes
it's
into
not
this
like
game
it's
and
a
his big plan isn't, hey, let's start this game with Bobby at the 5 because he was actually pretty effective last game. He was able to switch, and that was a much more functional defensive lineup. And Brooke was getting torched on every single possession. We should just change our starting lineup. His idea is, What if I take 400,000-year-old Brook Lopez and we have him switch everything? How's that going to work? Like, dude, you've got a pure drop big trying to play against a Tyrese Haliburton, Miles Turner pick and pop attack. He can't do it. But the answer is not let's put him on an island with Hallie and see what happens because he's getting blown by every time. So they only played Brooks 16 minutes in this game. That's a good number, but they did dig themselves a bit of a hole early because he was just getting absolutely exploited defensively again. I thought he was better in game one because when they put him in the middle of the zone, at least he was able to protect the rim at a pretty high level. He has 4 blocks in this game in his 16 minutes, but still just way too many instances of him getting brought out into space and exposed against a team that moves the ball too fast, that has too many perimeter threats, that has too many shooting threats. All of their bigs are shooting threats. This just is not the series for Brook Lopez. I said that coming in, and I just feel more strongly about that each game, each minute. So I will put that on Doc to some extent. Also, I would like to see a Giannis at the 5 lineup at some point. Now, the Giannis and Bobby front court is really working by their standards. Indiana's just a better team, but I'm saying compared to the alternative, which is Brook being on the floor, that's been a really good look because Bobby's held up pretty well on those switches. I do wonder if you could get a little bit more speed and defensive versatility out there and even more shooting around Giannis with him at the 5, but also I understand you don't want to have too many smaller guards on the
Yeah,
floor
you
who
got to
then like
match that
Siakam can
size
go
of
out there
Siakam
mismatch
and
stack.
Turner. Yeah.
Like if Bobby's going to play like this, fucking play him 30 plus minutes because he was so good in this game. But still not enough, man. The Bobby Portis game is not enough, and Giannis just walking his way into a light 34 is not enough. I really do feel so bad for Giannis, man, because he has strolled his way in to 35, 15, and 4 on 65% true shooting through 2 games of this series. And like, it's not remotely surprising. He gets whatever he wants against the Pacers. I don't think 20 field goal attempts is enough for him in this game. I still think he should have the ball in his hands even more. There's one possession where he's calling for the ball coming down the court and KPJ ignores him and just runs a pick and roll and misses. And it's like, KPJ, man, what are we doing? Understand the hierarchy. Understand that Giannis is unstoppable, especially in this matchup. Get him the ball. It just feels like any possession that is run through anybody else is basically a waste, with the exception of Dame. But I still think that this team should be playing Giannis ball more than they're leaning into Dame pick and roll. Like Giannis is the dude who is the offensive engine in this matchup. And still, it's not enough. And like, he just doesn't deserve this, man. He doesn't deserve to be playing at this level and have a team that is this far away. And it's been apparent all regular season, and it was apparent last season, and they haven't addressed their needs for multiple years. They haven't gotten quicker. They haven't gotten more athletic. They haven't just gotten better role players that they desperately need. They haven't really gotten the personnel to play that Giannis at the 5 look a lot that I think could be so effective. And so here you are, you're in this spot. They really can't slow Indiana down, and nobody other than Giannis has been reliable offensively. It's just a shame because he's the best player on the floor by so far. And game one was the epitome of it, man. He has 19 in the first half, and they're down 24. Now that you have Dame back, you think you're going to be more competitive, and they were in this game. And I think the big benefit that you should get from having Dame on the floor is that he can help carry the non-Giannis minutes. But this was a rough return to action for him. Couple of turnovers where he's bothered by having 2 up at the level, little bit sloppy. I thought Andrew Nemhard did a pretty darn good job on him, just like being an irritant and being quick. And Dame's shot was off in this one. So he has the one big deep 3, but this was not the performance they needed out of him. 14 points, 4 of 13 from the field. I get that he's just coming back, obviously. Thank God that he's good to play after the blood clots, but they need him to be a lot better if they want to have a chance, because this series to Milwaukee is going to come down to them putting up a ton of points and just slowing Indiana down the tiniest bit because they're not getting a lot of stops in this matchup. When they play Brook, they're helpless defensively. When they have the Giannis Bobby front court, they're significantly better, but they're still struggling to consistently generate stops because the Indiana offense is really, really good.
So is Brook a DNP the rest of the way?
He's not a DNP. He's a DNP if Miles Turner is on the floor. And he's a DNP for the most part if Hallie is on the floor, I would say, because it's just the specific two-man game with those two that exploits him so much. But realistically, his slow-footedness is a problem at all minutes against this Indiana team. I just think you have to play him some. Like, just they don't have that much talent. So if you can get him on the
You
floor,
match him with Thomas Bryant minutes, bro.
match him with Thomas Bryant minutes. Even though Thomas Bryant can shoot the pill, no disrespect, I'm not nearly as afraid of him as I am Miles Turner. But it's got to be a series where Brook just doesn't play very much. I want to give props to Indiana though, because this offense is a machine and it's not just exploiting Brook. They're just a really hard offense to slow down. Hallie is the engine behind it, and he was phenomenal in the first half in this game. He had 16.7 assists, was blowing by everybody. He was killing Brook off of switches, but they tried Kyle Kuzma as his matchup for a few possessions. He was blowing by him. He was just getting into the lane over and over again, and he's either scoring or he's creating a great shot for a teammate basically every time down, and the three ball was falling. So his first half was like perfect outside of a couple turnovers. The second half, the shot just wasn't falling. I thought that he forced a couple more, but that's the beauty of the Indiana Pacers experience, man. You always have dudes who can pick up the slack. Siakam was excellent throughout this game, especially attacking mismatches. He gives you 24 and 11. He's bullying some of the slider wings, the smaller guys like AJ Green and Torian Prince. And then he's too quick for Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis. Like Pascal Siakam is sneaky one of the hardest dudes to guard on an island in the NBA. He is just an ISO and post up and inverted pick and roll machine because he's got such a unique combination of size, speed, skill, physicality. Really, really tough cover. And I thought that you saw that in this one. And then, like you said, Andrew Nemhard closes that shit out, man. I tweeted like right before he hit that dagger shot, like these Pacers guards, man, they got to stop trying to go at Giannis off of switches because he and Hallie both were like trying to force some shots over Giannis. And I'm like, that's not the matchup for you. And then, of course, Nemhard bangs a three in his mouth because playoff Andrew Nemhard is just like that, man. In the playoffs, this dude averages 15 points, 5.5 assists per game on 66% true shooting.
What I
Huge
like
improvement from the regular season.
what I like about everybody in the Pacers rotation is one, nobody is overtasked, but everybody also has such a distinct, valuable archetype. Right? If it's any of their guards, they're all really high IQ, good playmakers, good decision makers, and really skilled and can shoot from basically everywhere on the floor. Their wings are really athletic and really good defensively, and they're either good shooters or they're really, high end play finishers if it's like an Obi Toppin. And then their
Mhm.
bigs, they may not be like super pluses defensively like a Siakam or a Turner, but they're all really skilled offensively and complement. They just have such a complimentary roster, man. Everybody fits together. Obviously, Halliburton is the spoon, right? He's the thing that stirs the drink for everybody and gets this thing going. But Pacers are deep and they're so damn talented,
So
man.
deep.
And hell, my boy Jarris Walker is getting some minutes too now, man. I just
He had a three in this game.
Pacers are solid, man. The Pacers are so solid, and I just think the Bucks are outmatched.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a team that has a bunch of good basketball players against a team that has one superstar and very few reliable good basketball players around him. Nemhard steps up. I just like his shiftiness, man. He's a tough shot maker. He's a good passer, and he's fearless, dude. He lives for those clutch moments. And you talk about the depth, man. That's what makes this team special, right? They're just so complete. They have so many positive contributors offensively. All of your starters go for 15 plus in this game. They're all efficient. They're all involved. That's Pacers basketball. Everybody who sees the floor is a good basketball player. You play with pace, you move the ball, you attack defensive weak points, you create and capitalize on advantages. I truly, Logan, have no idea why I had the Knicks over them when we did our contender rankings with Jason like the week before the playoffs. And to my credit, I guess I flipped on it before the playoffs even started. I backed off. I said, I don't know what I was thinking, but I think maybe I've been drugged, man. I've been advocating for the Pacers ever since they turned it around. They've been so, so good for 3 quarters of the year. And that was a mistake. And to the state of Indiana, I apologize. I think they're very clearly the third best team in the East. I like their offense more. I think they're more versatile.
Probably.
Their depth is a hell of a lot better.
I was gonna say, man, they probably have the most people want to say that Halliburton's overrated. I think they have the most underrated duo in basketball, probably in Hallie and Siakam.
That's a good shout. I will say, I think that James Harden and Kawhi give them a run for their money. Now they're getting their hype
I think
now,
name
but everybody
value,
literally did a 180 on Kawhi in one day, bro. That was the
literally.
craziest shit ever.
I mean, I wasn't surprised by the performance, but I'm still kind of reeling. That was literally one of the greatest playoff games I've ever seen played by anybody ever.
It was, dude. Going back and watching it, like the number of times the Nuggets were showing help and he just shot anyways against a contest with a second defender in the vicinity, and he shot 15 of
I'm
19 from the field.
I'm surprised when Kawhi misses, man.
I am too. I will say, yesterday we were talking on the show, how high does he rank as a playoff scorer? I said the only dudes I can for sure take above him are Jokic and Shea. I'm going to give some props to Giannis. I would take Giannis as well. I just
You're
think
saying
his
right now, of
floor
course.
is so high right now as a playoff scorer. Like, you see it, there are just matchups in which Giannis is completely unguardable and he walks his way to the
Over
rim whenever
Luka.
he wants. Well, I would take Luka over Kawhi as well. I think that Luka, when he's getting by people at a decent rate, gets to the line so much more than Kawhi, and the three-point shooting volume is just such an advantage. And then KD is the one who I think is like right there neck and neck with Kawhi. That's tough because they're both god tier shot makers. Kawhi's strength is something I love so much in the playoffs, but KD just like is going to be insanely efficient as a shot maker no matter what. And he gets to the line a good bit more. And I do think he's a better off ball scorer than Kawhi, marginally so. So I think there's probably 5 dudes at the end of the day. But Kawhi is right in that range where if you put him anywhere in that top 7, because like shout out to Steph as well. I think that he belongs in these conversations. That's where he is. But I wanted to give Giannis his respect because like you can't take for granted when you expect a dude to score an efficient 35 points every single game in a matchup. And that's literally what I expect from Giannis in this series. And it's still not going to be enough. Now, I do think they'll get a game. I think they might get 2 games. Like, he's just so good. And Dame, you would think, is going to have one performance where he really goes off, and hopefully some of the Bucks supporting cast members make some shots. And it's not going to be about them slowing down Indiana. It's just going to be they have a dynamic offensive performance of their own. Like, they're capable of that, especially when the ball is in Giannis's hands for a vast majority of the game. But that's not what you want to hear if you're Giannis and you're 30 and you're playing at this level and things have just gotten worse and worse around you for several years now, and your team has no assets to improve it. Like,
Hit the
been
road.
saying this,
Time
man,
to
but I
hit the
think he's got to
road,
be out of
man.
there. He's got to be out of there. Just as a basketball fan, I don't
You
want to
know,
see
I
this. I don't
always,
want to see him in Milwaukee anymore.
I was always really hopeful that it was going to be Dallas with Luka when, you know, because we've seen this coming with Giannis for a very long time in Milwaukee, like the light at the end of the tunnel, and I think it's going to be mutually beneficial. I always wanted them to get paired up together, but I think it's the right
You
move.
know who I saw our buddy Tyler, Hoop Venue, say today?
Who?
He said this is all going to be so funny when it culminates in Giannis and Hallie playing together in Indiana.
That would be gnarly. That would be maybe the best duo in the league.
That would be so sexual. But there's
What
real
about with the
beef between
Dubs,
these two
man?
teams.
I'd like to see Giannis with Steph. That would be sick.
I mean, how greedy can we be as Warriors fans? Really, truly. Like,
hey, man, can
at
I
some
ask you
point,
something?
do we have to let somebody else get one?
Am I really that crazy for thinking that Miles Turner is better than Domantas Sabonis?
You are crazy for thinking that. But Miles Turner's really good.
Some of the
He's one of
shots
the
he's
best
been
pick and
hitting
pop
in this
bigs in
series,
basketball.
man. Like, that's
I
what's
love that
really
he can
blowing.
just get to his step back even.
Yeah,
bro.
like,
he is a hell of a jump shooter.
it's just, it really blows my mind when I'm watching a Pacers game and a 7-foot dude will just pull off a butter smooth left elbow step back J in nothing but net. Like, he's a really good shooter. He's a good scorer.
He's a really good scorer of the basketball. No doubt about that. Shout out to the Pacers, man. Shout out to Tyrese Haliburton. And he mogged Dame. I saw Jokic Joestar say that, but he did, man. He won. He played better today, and he mogged him. This Bobby Portis game, like, I'm going to give one more number. Bucks are +4 with Bobby Portis on the floor in this series, and they're -31 with him off it. So he clearly gives them a better chance than Brook does. And I do want to give props to Kuz. He opens this game smoking 2 layups. He was better in this one. He was aggressive. He got downhill. Wasn't great, but he was better.